Good morning all. Today we are going to discuss about data handling in R. Data handling in R. So, as per the definition of the data science is an art of making decisions by using the historical data. As per the definition of data science means it is an art of making decisions by using the historical data. Okay, so if you want to make the how do you make the decision? By using the historical data, right? So what do you mean by historical data? Historical data is nothing but the previous data or past data. So that means if you want to make a decisions or if you want to do the analysis, first and foremost point will be always as you need the data. Once you have a data, then only you need to go with the analysis. So first of all, the thing we need to do, how do we import the SAS into, how do we import the data into the R? Once we done the importing, does it mean that our work is finished? Does it mean that our work is finished? No, it doesn't mean that our work is finished. Just we started, just we received the data. As a data scientist, your work is starting from the point where you received the data. Once you receive the data in the real time or everywhere, as a data scientist, what are the steps you need to follow? Once you receive the data with you, it can be CSV file or it can be Excel file or it can be SAS, anything it will be. Once you receive the data into the R2, that means by default each and every data set, by default each and every external file is going to be stored as a data frame. By default each and every external file is going to be stored as a data frame. By default, each and every external file is going to be stored as a data frame. Next point will be how do we deal with the data? How do we import the data into the tool? Let's do a practical session. And here we are going to see that from text to data, we are reading the data. First, we are reading the CSV file. Where is your location of the file? So go there. Sales by country is the one data set I am going to import the file. Here first, this is the first location is the browse. Browse means where is our file is located. Next is the data preview. Data preview is nothing but wherever is the our data. By using the data preview, how many records you can see? 50 entries. Here import option, name of the file will be just I am keeping as the sales. Do you want to skip any rows? No, we are not going to skip the rows. First row, as we discussed yesterday, first row is always as the names only. Trim spaces means removing the leading and trailing blanks of a variable or a particular record. For that, we are going to use the trim spaces. Open data viewer means once you created the data in the R, automatically the table need to be open by using the view function. In the view function, v is the capital, delimiter is the comma delimiter. By default missing values are stored to be as a na. Comment will be, hash is the comment. We are importing the data. So the data set which consists of 998 observation, 7 variable. If you look into the right side top sales data which consists of 998 observations of 7 variables. Now once we import the data into the R, here if you have a SAS data set, here can you see the from SAS? Let's import the SAS data set. Here again asking the browse. By default, SAS data set, if you go on the forward, by default, as we discussed yesterday, our data set stored is the .r data. Like the same way, R data means workshop basically. I mean workspace. Here each and every table in SAS are going to be stored as .SAS 7BDAT. Here SAS means S means statistical, A means analysis, S means statistical, A means analysis, again S means system, statistical, analysis, system. 7B is the batch files. B is the batch file. 7 is the, it indicates 1970 they started the SAS company. So 7 indicates the 1970. B is the batch file. D8 is the data. B is the batch file. D8 means data. So by default, each and every SAS file is going to be stored as .SAS 7BDAT. SAS means statistical analysis system. 7 means they started the company in 1970. B is the batch file. DAT means data. Now here what we are going to do, we are importing the data SAS file. How do we import? Here we have a one data set GNP. Here can everyone see GNP dot SAS 7BDAT? So we are selecting the data. So again we can see the preview of the first 50 records, and the first one name is the GNP. Name is the GNP. Model is the model. When we are discussing about the SAS or model, there we will discuss about the model. At this point you get the confusion. I don't want to give the confusion. And format is the SAS. Open data will means once you create the table, automatically it will open the data. Library Heaven. If you want to import the SAS file, it is by default it is going to be stored in the, by default there is a package called Heaven. So automatically it will install, no need to do. And GNP is the read underscore SAS or read.SAS. You can use it. View import the data. So GNP dataset, which consists of the 126 observations along with the 6 variables. Okay. Now yesterday we saw how to import the Excel file, how do we import the CSV file, and how do we import the SAS file. Now what is our ultimate goal? Let's play with the data. As a data scientist, in the real time, whenever you are starting the project, whenever you receive the data, your approach will be like how do you need to approach the data? How do you need to approach the data? Here in this case, what we are going to do, first of all, whenever you receive the data, first and foremost point you need to look how many number of rows I do have, how many number of columns we have. Rows is nothing but observations, columns is nothing but variables in the data science. Rows is nothing but observation, column is nothing but variables. First of all, whenever you receive the data or whenever you import the data into R, first you need to make sure that how many number of observations in my data set have and how many number of variables my data set is have. Okay. So in this case, first of all, finding out number of observations and number of variable. Here dim function, dim is nothing but dimensions. Dim is nothing but dimension. Dim of data set name. Dim of data set name. What is our data set? Let's take the sales data. Finding out the number of observation and number of variable. For that, we are going to use the dim function. Dim of sales is nothing but dim is nothing but dimension of data set name. Data set is the sales data set. So it consists always dim of sales in the case 998 observations and 7 variables. Let's say if I need only finding out how many number of observations are there, I don't want to look into the variable. I just want to check only the observation. How do I get dim of sales of 1? 998. For example, dim of sales of 2. Here, when I read the dim of sales, how many positions I get? 2 records, 998 and 7. First record which indicates the observation, 7 which indicates the variables. For example, dim of sales of 2 which indicates the 7 variables. Which indicates the 7 variables. Here in this case, this is all the usage of dim. Dim we are going to use extensively in the going forward sessions. We need to be careful about the dim function. Not only here in the course curriculum, in the real time also, whenever you receive that, first and foremost step you are going to do is you need to check how many number of observation, how many number of variables. Unless until, let's say, client has mentioned that in the demonstration session, when project has been initiated, he said that you are going to receive the 40,000 records. As an example, you are going to receive the 40,000 record and with 50 columns, like that, somewhere like that. But when you receive the actual data, you received only 20,000. Then definitely you are going to ask a question. As you mentioned, we are going to receive the 40,000 records, but why did we receive only 20,000? What about the remaining 20,000? To ask such question, we need to understand how many number of observations are there, how many number of variables are there. The first and foremost step will be in our data. First step, not only here, everywhere. First is going to use the dim function, dim of data set name. Now, okay, you understand how many number of observations as well as how many number of variables. Once you did that, next step will be what are the variable names? What are the different variable names I received from the data or from the client? Because ultimate goal to us, whenever you receive in the project also, you need to understand the meanings of each and every column. Unless until you are not clear with the meanings of each and every column, how can you going forward do the analysis? It will be really difficult. You need to understand the column names. To understand the column names or to get the what are the different column names which are presented in the data set. For that, we are going to use the names function. Deriving the variable names from data set. Names of sales. Names of sales. Names means it will give the column names. It will give the column names. Any question, guys, who are on the call as well here? Any question, guys? Any questions? Okay. Perfect. Here the names will be customer ID. The first one is the customer ID. Customer ID is nothing for each and every customer. There will be some IDs will be there. That is the unique IDs most of the case. Customer name. What is the customer name of corresponding ID? Customer from which country is the customer is from? Products sold. What products sold? How did we sold the product? On which channel? Does it offline, direct, retail kind of thing? Units sold. How many units customer has sold? And what date customer sold? This data set, sales data is the sales data set. In the sales data set, we have a information like the customer ID, customer name, and how many products the customer has sold, what kind of products customer sold, how did we sold, and what particular data we sold. That is all. If I want to look the table, if I want to look the table, we can look the table in two ways. Just click on the data set name. Here we have a data set right side. Just click on the data set. Here it will show in the view option. View is nothing but V is the capital one. Sales data is the, this is the sales data. Other way around, if you want to look that, you can simply use the view of V is the capital, view of sales. That is also we can do. In the view statement, V should be the capital 1. In view of sales means V should be the capital 1. If we would like to do the, we saw the entire table, right? Now I want to look the few snapshot of the data. We have a one function to look at the snapshot of a data. To look at this snapshot of a data, we are going to use the head function. Head function will present the first by default head function will present the first 6 records or first 6 observations. Head of sales. So it will be customer ID, customer name, customer country, like that. Here a table of 6 into 7. 6 into 7 is nothing but 6 rows with 7 columns. 6 into 7 means 6 rows and 7 columns. Here, suppose I want to print the first 2 observation only. I want to print the first 2 observation. Would like to print first 2 observation. How do we print? Head of dataset sales, comma 2. It will print the first 2. For example, if you would like to print the last few observations, if you would like to print the last few observations, would like to print last few observations. How do you print last few observation? Tail of sales. By default, tail function also print the how many observation? 6 observation only. As like head print the first 6 observation, tail function also print the last 6 observation. Head function print the first 6 observation. Tail function print the last 6. Here these are the, again see, here table 6 into 7. Here again tail of sales comma 2 means, for example, sale of sales comma 2 means last 2. It print the last 2 records. Sorry, spelling. Here spelling is sales is not found because our sales in the small letters. What are given? Capital letters. Make sure that as discussed, R is a case sensitive language. You need to be thoroughly careful about that. Clear, guys? Okay. Next will be, so as discussed, we have the 7 variables, which are the number of observation, which are the number of variables, and what are the variable names, which are the 7 variables. But we'd like to understand type of the each and every variable. Does it a numerical variable? Does it a character variable? How did we check type of a data, data types of each and every variable in the data set? Class Okay, class checking the type of each and every checking the type of each and every variable. Here in this case, how do we check? Class function, class of dataset name sales dollar, name customer country. Customer country is the character data. Class of sales dollar, unit sold is the integer. Maybe there is a y because integer. Maybe it can be a numeric or integer, no problem. But here in this case, so one by one variable is checking manually, we are checking one by one variable. But what if there are 7 variables, we can check it manually. But what if you have hundreds of variables? Is it possible to write manually? Then what we need to do, we have to write the one function or one keyword. Automatically it will give us the entire type of each and every variable. What is that function? I think we discussed that function. Have you ever heard about str function? Str is nothing but structure of a data. Str of sales data. Str of sales data. Here str of sales means, str means structure. See here, classes table df means table data frame, which means, as I said in the start of the today's start of the class, I said by default import the external data files into R. It is going to be stored as a data frame. Here it is saying classes table data frame. It is saying clearly say that it is a data frame which consists of 998 observation and 7 variables. Here the first customer ID is the integer 323, all these things. Customer name is the character, customer country is the character, product sold is the character, sales channel is the character, unit sold is integer, date sold is the date format, because it is purely in the date format condition. Of course, by default it's showing the numeric only, but it is in the looks like as a date form in the structure. Any doubts about this? Of course, down this one is the backend, right? How does it running the backend of all the things? Collection of integer character, just collecting the one by one variable and providing the data type, but doesn't record us. Any questions about that till point? Any questions who are in the online? Hello, any questions?
No, Koti, we are good.
Yeah, thank you. Now, so last week, last week, we were discuss about the minimum value, maximum value, all these things, right? Mean value, all this. I think so far we never use the meaning of all this. Now, okay, what are the steps we have done? Be careful here. Once we import the data into the R, the first step will be what we have done. We were discussing about the how many number of observation, how many number of variables, and the meaning of each and every variable name. And the next will be the sample snapshot of the first 6 record, sample snapshot of the last few record, and the structure of each and every. We have a next function is that summary function. Summary function. Summary function works to summarizing the summarizing the data, but it will works for only numerical data. It doesn't work for the categorical data. Summary function works to summarizing the data, but it will work for the only numerical data. It doesn't work for the categorical data. It doesn't work for the categorical. Okay. Now let's okay. How do we write this? We have a summary function summarizing the data. For that, summary of dataset name. Dataset is the sales data, right? So summarizing the dataset is the summary function. See, everyone. Here first one is the customer ID. Customer ID is the first variable. As we discussed, 7 variables are there. Min is nothing but minimum value of a data. Customer ID is nothing but ID is a number. In that, the minimum number is 23262. The minimum number is 23262. First quarter is nothing but 25% of the data. There are 4 different quarters will be there. There are 4 different quarters. Like first quarter means 25% of the data. Second quarter, other name of second quarter is median. That is nothing but 50% of a data. Third quarter is nothing but 75%. Fourth quarter is nothing but maximum value. That is nothing but 100%. Okay. What is the meaning of first quarter? 25% data. What is the mean of median value? What is the meaning of third quarter? What is the meaning of fourth quarter? 25th first quarter or 25% of the data. What does it mean? On a given data, 25, for example, let's say you have 100 records. You have a total number of records, or assume that you have a total 100 records. 25th percent means, what is the value of 25th percentage means, what is the value of 25th record value? What is the value of 25th? I mean, what is the value of 25th record? What for that means? For example, you may get the doubt. Data can be when does it happen? Before starting the data or after starting the data? This happens only after sorting the data. By default, internally while calculating the 25th percentage, by default internally it will calculate, it sorts the data and it will give the 25th value of the 25th record value. That is the meaning of the 25th percentage. Let's say, have we discussed the median? When we discussing about the median manually, what we did, we check the median means middle point of a data. Middle point is nothing but 50% of the data. That is the meaning of the middle point. That means, let's say I have 100 records generally. What is the median value? 50, 51. The average of 50 and 51 will be the 50.5% value will be the median value. Like the same way, 25th percentage means, let's say you have 100 records. First, by default, internally, it will sort the data in ascending order, not the descending order. It will sort the data in ascending order. Whatever the value which presented at 25th record, that will be your 25th percentage value. Simply, if I want to say as a layman, I want to say to the layman or statistically, first 25% of the record value is this much. First 25th percentage record value will be this much. Whatever the value. Here in our case, for example, 23511, right? That means in our given customer ID, first 25% value of the maximum value of the 25th percentage value is 23511. Yeah. Everyone is clear? Everyone is clear? Okay. Here next will be median value. Median value means middle value of the data. Mean is also average of all the records. Third quarter is nothing but first 75% of the records, the value will be how much? Maximum value is nothing but this much. Your customer name is the character data. Here, first it will give the length. Length means how many number of observation we have. Class tells about the what are the data type, what type it is a character. Even mode also tells the same character. Customer country the same. Length is nothing but number of observation, how many number of observation we have, and class is nothing but character data. Of course, mode also will give the same fashion of the results. Products sold. Products sold means again number of observations are 998. Class is the character, mode is the character, sales channel is the 998, length is the character mode. Unit sold means here, the unit sold means how many number of units your customer has sold or company has sold. Here minimum how many units they sold? Minimum number 1 unit they sold. First to 25% of the customer, how much they sold? 1/4 of the total number records are 52. On an average, they have sold 108. The 50th, exactly the middle point they sold is 111. Third quarter will be 75% of the 3/4 of the total data they sold us 163. Maximum they sold us 212. Maximum they sold us, like as I mentioned, date which by default take the numeric. Here it is, because if it is a character, automatically it will give us the length, all these things, because it is the numeric, it is giving the all these things. But generally we never calculate the minimum value, maximum value for the date. This is the meaning of this one. Any questions about this summary function? Any questions? Everyone is clear? Everyone is clear? Is one of the important function. We are going to use the summary function throughout our course. These are the steps, all the steps whatever we are discussing, these all the steps we are going to use practically also. In the real time also we have to use. These are the very mandatory steps to use. Any question, guys? Next one. Now that summary function works well for the only the numerical data. It doesn't work for the categorical data, right? So for that, what we need to do for the category, let's say we have a gender variable. Assume that we have a gender variable. What are the things we can able to do by in the category? How many times male is repeating? How many times female has been occurred? Count basically. Female has been occurred means female number count basically. How many others are? That means we can able to find the counts only for the categorical data. Based on the count, we may find the percentages, all these things. But as of this, how do I find the how many are the customer types are there? For example, to find the count of a categorical data, for that we are going to use the table function. to find counts of a categorical data. How do you find? Table of sales dollar. For example, we have a sales channel. We have a sales channel. Sales channel is a one variable, character variable. Here, when I mention the sales channel, there is a direct 91. In the sales channel, we have a three distinct levels. Yesterday, we were discussing about the factor function. Did you remember the factor function? Okay, let's do the factor function. What does the factor function do? Factor function will give us the unique levels of a data. Let's do that. Factor of sales, factor of, sorry, oh, short, then only it will be, oh, no problem. No, okay. Table of sales, factor sales dollar. What is the variable we are going to use? Sales channel. See here, of course, it will first you print all the records, then it will give the output. What are the different levels we have in the factor? We have the three levels. What are those? Direct, online, retail. Yes, we look into the output. Retail has been repeating, direct is also repeating, online is also repeating. How many times direct has been repeated, has been counted? How many times retail has been counted? How many times online has been counted? To get the count of a categorical variable, we are going to use the table function. Table of sales dollar, sales channel. Here in this case, we have the three levels. Those are direct, online, retail. Direct has been repeated 91 times. Online has been repeated 511 times. Retail has been repeated 396 times. When I adding up 91 plus 511 plus 396 should be equal to 998. Let's say 91 plus 511 plus 396. It should be totally should be equal to 998. That is how we calculate the clear, sir. Now in our data, is there any chance to, let's say, only sales channel, which we have a here, when we look into the sales, we have a customer country also there. Customer country, can we able to find the counts? How many times South Africa has been repeated? How many times Panama is repeated? How many times Congo? Like that we have. Can we find out that how many times each and everything repeated? How do you find? Table of sales dollar, customer country. What we are doing here, for the customer country, we are trying to find the counts. How many times particular country has been repeated? Zambia, Yemen, Western Sahara, Wallis, and Futuna. I mean, very new. And Venezuela, like that. This has been a repeat. The next thing will be here, is there any missing values in our data? Is there any missing value? By default, missing values are going to be stored in R as a NA. by default missing values are going to be stored by default missing values are going to be stored as by default missing values are going to be stored as NA. How do we calculate? For example, some okay, first let's discuss is dot NA sales dollar. Let's go with the one variable customer ID. If there are any NA values there, is dot NA means is there any null value not applicable or not available value. For example, if there are any NA values, it will return true. If not, it will return false. If there are any NA values, it will return true. If there is no null values, it will return false. Let's say false, false, false. Now we need to understand, right? How many times? Let's say assign this one to X is dot NA sales dollar cust ID. Sorry, cust. Okay, summary of X. Summary means summarizing. Mode is the logical mode. That means by default summary function will be the true and false only it will give. If there are missing values, it will give us the true. If there is no missing values, it will give the false. So here I am assigning just assigning to the X. It will give how many records? It will give 998 records. So here 998 means is there any missing values in our data? No, there are no missing values. So instead of writing the two steps, first assign to the X or summary of X, simply we can write like this: sum of other way around to write sum of is dot NA of sales dollar customer ID 0. That means it will tell us the how many missing values we have. Sum of is dot NA. It will count the only the true values. It doesn't count the false value. Sum of is dot NA. It will count only true values. It doesn't count true value. That means it doesn't count the false value. It doesn't count the false values. Sum of is that NA sales dollar customer ID. Okay. Now what we are going to do now? Suppose instead of that we can also check the missing values at overall view of the table. Sum of is dot NA of sales. In entire data set it will give how many missing values are there in entire data set. If there are no missing values entire data set, is there any possibility does the data set having the missing value at a column level or variable level? If there is no missing value at entire data set level, there is no missing value. Is it possible to have the missing value at a variable level? No, it is not possible to have no missing value. These are the basic functions which are required or which we are going to use whenever we have imported the data. These are the mandatory steps we have to check for a variable, I mean data. Any questions?
What basis you calculated the missing value? Either record basis or column?
Record basis.
Only record basis.
Column in a particular variable, how many records it is missing?
Based on that only it will be calculated.
Yes. Any question, guys? Yes.
So then we need to check.
Yes, we have a separate session to treat the missing values, all these things. I will explain you that. Just can we go with the sometime? Any question, guys? Uh, any questions who are on the call? Everyone is clear? Sai, Nagendra. Any questions, Giri?
No questions, God.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Now, what we are going to do? How do we slice and lay the data? Slicing and dicing of the data. How we are going to do it? Ah, so, okay. Slicing and dicing of a data. Let's import the one data set. I will send you these data sets after end of today's session. I am importing the one data set GDP. I am importing the one data set GDP. I am keeping as the small GDP. Every time it will be a bit difficult to write for me. And okay, import. Okay, we import the GDP dataset. GDP dataset consists of 194. Please keep the mic in mute, sir. Yeah, we import the dataset as we discussed now. Once you import the data, first and foremost, what we need to do? We need to check the how many number of observation we do have in the GDP. Let's say dim of GDP. Dim of GDP will tell us how many number of observations, how many number of variables. How many number of observations we have? We have 194 observations along with 4 variable names. Here in this case, what are the 4 variable names? How do we check the variable names? Names of GDP. Names of GDP will tell us country code, rank, country and GDP. Names of GDP, it will tell us about country code, rank, country and GDP. Now, let's say I need to print the first few observations. I need to print the first few observations in GDP 1. First 30 observations. How many ways we can do that? How many ways we can do that? Create a new data set GDP 1 with 30 observations. How do we create that? GDP 1 is equal to GDP of 1 colon 30 comma. Before comma it indicates rows, after comma it indicates column. After comma we did not specify anything. What does it mean? It will consider all columns. Before comma we did not specify anything. What does it mean? It will consider all rows. So does it created the 30 observation? GDP1 it is created the 30 observation. Other way around, to create the GDP1 is equal to head of GDP comma head of GDP comma 30. That means it will create the from the GDP data set. We are going to create the GDP1 with 30 observations. 30 observations. The same thing out. Now, okay. Now I need to create randomly. I want to in the output. I need to create a new data set. First record, 70 record, fifth record, 85th record, 120 record, 130 record. Like I need to randomly. I need to create a data. How do I create that. Let's say create random records. Create random records. How do we create? Can anyone guess it? GDP 2 is equal to GDP of C of first record, 10th record, 45th, 70, 65, 16, comma. Comma means after comma it will indicate all the columns. Here it is considering first row, 10th row, 45th row, 70, 65, 16 row. Randomly I am considering. Okay. Here, how do we do that? GDP2. Can you open this? See. First row we have taken, 10 we have taken, 45th, 70 we have taken, 65 we have taken, 16 we have taken. Clear? Bharat? Clear? Okay. For example, I need first 10 observations along with first column and fourth column. We require print first 10 observations along with first and fourth column. Can anyone guess how do we write? GDP 3 is equal to GDP of 1 colon 10. That means 1 colon 10 means it will be the first record to 10th record, comma C of 1 comma 4. C means concatenation. 1 comma 4 means first column, fourth column. For example, instead of comma, here 1 comma 4, instead of comma, if I given 1 colon 4, it will take 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it will take all 4 things. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 comma 4 means it will consider first column and fourth column. The difference between 1 comma 4 is nothing but it will consider first column as well as fourth column. If we mention 1 colon 4 means it will consider first column, second column, third column and fourth column. Okay. GDP 3 means it will take first country code and GDP. Country code and GDP. Okay. Next will be GDP. I don't want second column in my data set. What is the second column in the GDP? I don't want rank. I want to print the country code, country GDP. How do we print that? GDP 4 is equal to GDP of comma. Before comma we did not specify anything. What does it mean? It consider all the rows C of minus 2. Minus 2. Minus 2 means it doesn't print the second column. It will print the remaining column. GDP of 4 will be country code, country, GDP. Country code, country and GDP. This is how we will do this slicing and dicing. Okay. This is all about today.